Let's take a closer look at the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron, Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter chase vehicle.
Varykino, living the Star Wars life.
Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Varykino YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter. As you can see, this one is from Series 5, which we weren't sure if we were going to get so soon here in New Zealand. As soon as we spotted them on store shelves, we had to go on an epic toy hunt, and through our browsing through all of the different stores available to us locally, we found 4 different chase vehicles. Honestly, the force must have been with us that day. We have never found 4 chases from a single series before, so we are super lucky. As you can see, this one has a gold sticker. It says Chase, 1 of 5,000. So this is one of the rarer chase vehicles in the line. The other ones have the silver sticker, 1 of 15,000. So this one, we didn't even really know if we would ever see this one with our own eyes in the store shelves, and lo and behold, we found one. So very exciting. So before I open it up, we'll take a closer look at the packaging. Of course, we have this lovely big bubble window here so we can see the ship inside on a backing card there. We can see that we have 2 little minifigs here of Kit Fisto and the astromech R6-H5. Very cute. We can see that we can be able to pop Kit Fisto in the cockpit. We have the silver stripe down here that says Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter, and this one is number 0105. More than 100 into this line already, and that lovely gold sticker there on the front. So very cool. And we can see some Jedi Starfighter with droid fighters on the backing art in there as well. I love the back card art here. On the back, we've got some more fun graphics. We can see Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter, and this is from the light armor class range from Micro Galaxy Squadrons. We have an image here of the ship and some of the action features. We can pop the astromech up and we can fit Kit Fisto in the cockpit. We have the cutout collectible blueprint here. It's kind of trading card size. If you don't want to keep your packaging, you can still keep this. I do keep my packaging intact, so I won't be cutting that one out. And here we can see some of the other ships available in the Series 5 line. We have the Desert Skiff, we have the Resistance A-Wing, Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, and the chase vehicle, Darth Vader's Sith Infiltrator, which we did actually find. So we will be unboxing that very shortly on the channel as well. As I said, we were so very lucky to find 4 different chase vehicles. So there we go. That is the packaging. So now it's time to open it up and take a closer look. So now I have all of the components unboxed. We've got the ship and the figures. I'm going to take a closer look at the figures first. I like the little plastic capsule that they come in. It's a great safe way to store them so you don't accidentally lose them if you don't want to store them in the ship itself. We can see we have Kit Fisto and R6-H5, the astromech. I like the coordinating colors here. The brown and green looks really cute together. And on the back, the cardboard insert has a blueprint style picture of the figures there as well. So you can really see all of that tiny sculpting detail, which is really quite fun. So let's get these figures out of their little plastic tray here. See, they just pop out nice and easy. Some of the figures you really got to push in that plastic to get them out. So I'm going to start with Kit Fisto first. I'm really quite impressed with the detail on this figure. You can really see all of the detail. We've got his Nortolan head tails down the back, really cool, and draped over his shoulders there in the front. We've even got, if I lift his arms, a tiny silver lightsaber on his belt. So yeah, lots of detail there, nice clean painting, even on all that small detail. And like the other figures from this line, we can put him into a sort of pilot cockpit position with his arms and legs there. Moving on to the astromech, he has matching green, white and brown paint scheme with some really fine details there. I like the fact that he's got a matching green head for Kit Fisto. I think that's really cute. Like the other Astromech minifigures from this line, there is no articulation, the head and legs don't move, but there is a small peg hole on the underside because there is a small peg in the Astromech port here on the ship, so that just helps them fit in there nice and snug. So overall, pretty good paint job on the Astromech as well. Nice to see. These are so tiny. I'm not mad if I get one with slightly off paint because it is so small and it is going to go inside the ship, but it's always a bonus when they look nice and tidy there. So I'm going to pop those two off to the side because it's time to take a closer look at the ship. Now, this is not the first Jedi Starfighter from the Micro Galaxy Squadron line, but this is a unique one to Kit Fisto. So I can collect these Jedi Starfighters all day. I just absolutely love this iconic shape. So we've got the very classic sort of, it always makes me think of Obi-Wan's Starfighter from episode 2. So in my mind, I always just call them the sort of episode 2 style Jedi Starfighters. When we see Anakin and Obi-Wan's Starfighters in episode 3, it's a very different shape. So that's what I always think. So we've got sort of a brown and kind of a pale green toned pattern here. And like some of the other vehicles in this Micro Galaxy Squadron line, we have some weathering here. Now the weathering pattern varies from ship to ship. Some will look dirtier, some will look cleaner. So we can see we've got a little bit of weathering here down by the nose, a little bit around here near the Astromech sort of cockpit part here, but overall not too heavy. And I know it's up to personal collector preference, whether you like it to look more sort of grungy and grubby and dirty, or whether you like a slightly cleaner look. Overall, I like this level of weathering. It doesn't look like it is sort of really patched or pulled anywhere. It looks kind of balanced and not too heavy. And the paintwork underneath looks really nice and tidy. We've even got a Galactic Republic symbol here on the wing. And we've got another tiny little one here at the back. It's so small, but it's really like, it's got to be like a just absolutely amazing work to apply that because it is so small and it is really like there's no smudging or anything. It's just really nice and tidy because it is such an iconic logo. You don't want to mess that one up. And we've got that green color on the fin, and we can see there's a little bit more weathering here. Just again, very light, not too heavy. And another tiny little logo here on the back as well. We have some silver accents here on those back engines. And then on the underside, we have another Galactic Republic symbol here. We've got a little bit of that sort of burgundy brown color coming in around the edges, and not too much in the way of weathering on the underside of this ship. So taking a closer look at the sculpted details, I am always really impressed with the level of detail Jazware puts on the underside of ships and inside the cockpits and all of that. We can see just all of that fine detail. And of course, if we look closely, we can see that there are 3 landing struts here. So I'm just going to go and open them up. See, some of them are tricky, some of them move quite smoothly. So let's see what my luck is like today. Let's see. Okay, that one lifted up fairly nicely. Nice and smooth. Oh, that one popped out nicely as well. And then, okay, let's get this one on the front. And that one came out as well. Some of them can be really stiff and I have a hard job sort of clicking it out. Those ones all came out really nicely. So now we can stand it up with its landing gear, and that looks really nice. Just gives it a little bit more elevation, of course, because this is a little bit of a smaller ship from the line. That looks really nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the Astromech in the little port here. We can see that peg, and there is also a sort of a button that it's not really a button, it's just kind of you can kind of see it sinks in. So if you want to pop the Astromech up, you can just kind of push on this port. So let's go ahead and put him in with his peg in place. And he fits in there really nice. I like the way that they kind of bed down on that peg because they don't sort of shake loose, because it would be such a shame to lose these. You don't sort of want that empty hole on display. If there is a matching Astromech, you really don't want to lose them. So I like that they fit in there snugly. And so if I press on that little panel on the bottom, he pops out. So if you want to sort of remove him so you're not sort of grasping on his dome, we can pop him out and pop him back in there. Very nice. Okay, so one of the last features is of course the cockpit. Now this one's a really interesting orange color. Most of the cockpits, certainly across the Jedi Starfighters, have seen a slightly more sort of clear or perhaps a sort of a hazy gray. This one is an interesting orange that kind of ties in with the tones here as well. So we've got a little bit of a notch here in the back. Let's see how tricky this one is to open. If I can get my fingernail under it. Okay, that one's a little stiffer, but there we can see the cockpit and all of the details inside. Doesn't have much in the way of painting, but there's a little bit of weathering, very light weathering, just to kind of accent all of those sculpted details in there. Like I said, I just love the detail that they put inside the cockpits and the undersides and all of that across this line. Very fun. So let's go ahead and see if we can put Kit Fisto in, now that he's in a seated position, and he just drops in there. It's really nice. That's not tricky at all. We can see his legs fit in there really nicely. Very nice. So he should fit comfortably. Okay, when we snap that closed, we can see the figure inside. So I wasn't quite sure how well we'd be able to see with that interesting orange color there, but we can see that that is indeed Kit Fisto inside his starship there, which is always nice. It just kind of adds that final finishing touch to have the pilots in these vehicles. Really cool. So there we go. That is the Kit Fisto Jedi Starfighter chase vehicle from the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. So I do actually have a couple of the other Jedi Starfighters from the line, so let's go ahead and get them out and do a little bit of a comparison. So here I have Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter alongside two other Jedi Starfighter vehicles from the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. This one here is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this here is Ahsoka Tano. So you may notice that these two come with hyperdrive rings, whereas Kit Fisto's Jedi Starfighter does not. Kit Fisto's ship is part of the light armored class, whereas these two were part of the Starfighter class, which is the slightly larger packaging and a slightly higher price point. It's interesting that he doesn't come with a hyperdrive ring. Personally, I'm a little bit mixed on whether I like these. I know that for ships appearing in the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones, they do use these rings, so it does make sense, but they display very, very awkwardly. As you can see by Obi-Wan here, this is how it's just going to sit on a shelf. They do really need some stands to kind of pose them up properly. Otherwise, they're just sitting like this. Whereas you can see with Kit Fisto, with his landing gear, it just looks a little bit more correct for display. You know, then you've got, sometimes it gets a bit awkward to put the ring just sitting on the shelf next to the ship, but I don't know, I guess it's personal preference. I think I like the ships sitting here like this rather than like this. It's kind of just a little bit of an awkward pose for your display shelf. So the other thing that I really wanted to compare was whether there was much difference in the sculpting, because technically these were two different price points and, you know, different classes within the range. I wanted to see how similar these were together. So I'm going to compare Kit Fisto and Ahsoka Tano. So side by side, we can see some similarities. We've got the Galactic Republic symbol there, and to my eyes, as best I can without, you know, getting out some calipers, these look like the same sculpt, which isn't too surprising. I guess it is just the extra hyperdrive ring that adds to that different price point. We can see they both have astromechs and figures included, very similar, you know, sort of in design and style. We've got those landing gear there, and on the underside, if I can sort of rotate them around, we can see the very same sculpting details. Even with the different paint jobs, I can see all of those detail lines match up there. So of course it does make sense from a business perspective that these are the same sculpt, and certainly from sort of an in-world perspective, the Jedi Order having all of their ships matching makes sense as well. So yes, very interesting to see that yes, it does indeed, you know, match the others in the range. So it looks pretty cool when you can get them all lined up on your shelf. I'm gonna try and collect as many of the Jedi Starfighters as I can. I have a personal soft spot for this ship. I absolutely love it. And I think particularly with the different paint jobs, they look really different all lined up. We can see that Ahsoka's has the sort of Jedi Order symbol on hers, and Kit Fisto has the sort of interesting circles and stripes going on with his in very different colors. They definitely do look very cool and very different, sort of aesthetically lined up. And then Obi-Wan's, of course, has a different paint job there again as well, with his hyperdrive ring there in the back. So there you have it. That is my unboxing, review, and mini comparison of the Kit Fisto Jedi Starfighter chase vehicle from Jazware's Micro Galaxy Squadron line. I didn't know if I would ever be able to add this one to my collection. I am very, very lucky and fortunate to be able to find him locally on the store shelf and unbox him and add him to my collection. I really do like this ship. I know it's not the biggest or perhaps the most blingiest out there, but I still really like it. I like the Jedi ships, so a very welcome addition to my collection. Thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, we're going through unboxing more ships from Series 5 of the Micro Galaxy Squadron line, including a few more chase vehicles. We have already unboxed the Luke Skywalker X-Wing hologram chase, so I'll have that one linked down below if you want to check that one out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Check out our other videos and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.